I call the Township of Aleppo Commissioners meeting of May 19, 2025 to order at 7 p.m. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
President Jones,
Present.
Commissioner Dara,
Present.
Commissioner DeLuca. Here. Solicitor Jewett.
Present.
This meeting, as all others, will be recorded and uploaded to YouTube. Do I hear a motion to approve the May 12, 2025 workshop meeting minutes?
I wasn't here, Judy, so
I absolutely make a motion to approve the May 12th workshop meeting minutes.
Is there a second?
second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Solicitor Jewett, will you please commence with the conditional use hearing?
Absolutely. That's the court reporter to start. So we're now going to call to order the public hearing on the conditional use application of the Macomb Group to be held this evening. It is Monday, May 19th, 2025 at 7 o'clock p.m. The application is for property owned by 79 North Landowner LLC. It's currently a vacant lot identified as parcel number 345-A-44 in the C2 zoning district. Assessment records show the property is approximately 33.4 acres. This application is to obtain approval for use of the property as a principal storage yard, which is permitted as a conditional use in this district. The applicable zoning ordinance provisions are sections 400-8, table 6, section 400-123, table 15, and section 400-27. Before we get started, I'm going to read some preliminary board exhibits into the record. Township's Exhibit A will be the application dated April 15th, 2025, and accompanying materials. Township's Exhibit B will be the notice to the applicant of the public hearing dated May 19th, 2025. Township Exhibit C will be notice to adjacent property owners. Township Exhibit D will be the Township Engineer's review letter. Township Exhibit E will be the Planning Commission recommendation on this application. Township Exhibit F will be the public hearing proofs of publication. And Township Exhibit G will be proof of posting of the property. And I'll ask that anybody who intends to testify or give comment today be sworn in by the court reporter. So if you could please stand and raise your right hand.
Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
And are you here on behalf of the applicant today, sir?
Yes.
Can you-
Macomb Group.
Okay, can you just state and spell your name for the record and provide your address?
Todd Shumate, TODD-SHUMATE, and my address is 1331 Morgan Circle, Cannonsburg, PA, 15317.
It's your floor. You're the applicant, so if you'd like to tell the board anything about your application.
Yeah. So I don't really know as far as where we are today with the application. I know we've submitted it, and I know you all have done some background on us. And further information, I don't really, I was kind of told that you all were downloaded on everything through a presentation last week, but can definitely answer any questions to fill in any gaps or start over from the beginning.
Okay.
I
can guide you through some questions.
Oh, great, yeah.
Okay. So first of all, the defined use today is a storage yard principal. For the benefit of the board, if this was an accessory use on another lot, they would not have to go through this process. However, because the applicant has to use a specific parcel separate from their warehousing use, correct? That's why they have to go through this separate process. So would it be correct to say that you're intending to use an otherwise vacant lot or parcel for the storage of materials generally?
surplus storage for bulk materials, yes.
And so are you going to conduct any service repair or other activities on the property, or will it just be used for storage?
Storage and unbundling.
And you're not intending to utilize it for living or sleeping purposes or any sort of retail sales?
None whatsoever. We're a distributor of tubular goods, so piping. We're going to put overflow pipe in this location and unbundle it to sell. The intent is to sell out of this location, 304 Deer Run, yeah.
Okay. And so you're not going to utilize any of the setback areas for any storage purposes?
I'm not familiar with what you're referring to as setback area.
Okay. You provided a site plan, or at least a sketch plan for this application of the area you intend to use? No? Okay. If we impose a condition that states that you won't use any of the required setbacks for this project, would you be able to comply with that?
Definitely.
Okay, are you storing any organic materials or
We're
just
not.
piping?
Just piping, plastic and metal.
Are you storing any vehicles in the area?
We potentially would have to have a type of forklift there, but can work with you to make that remote.
And if you did store vehicles, would you be able to provide current vehicle registrations or inspections if required by the township?
Everything, yes. We do that annually.
Would you be storing any wrecked or dismantled vehicles on the property?
So
Have you reviewed the comments of the engineer that were provided following the planning commission recommendation?
I have not. I can phone a friend for
That's
that.
okay.
You have a minute.
Would you be able to confirm that you can pave the area with a minimum of 3 inches of gravel and maintain it in a dust-free manner?
We can do that, yes.
If we require that you comply with a setback of 500 feet from any property being used as a single-family dwelling, would you be able to comply with that?
Definitely.
Are you familiar with the site in terms of its location or proximity views from the roadway?
I was there and it was tree covered, so couldn't see the roadway.
So if there is a requirement that the yard be screened from a roadway, would it be your opinion that it is properly screened without any additional fencing?
To understand the question, are you saying it's already properly screened without?
Is that your opinion?
Yes.
All right, that's all my questions. I'm going to give an opportunity since we have the township engineer here. Is there anything you would like to add?
No, our letter on the 3 conditions that the solicitor already addressed. The rest are just pretty much be a good neighbor. Things that we want to bring the board's attention are you do have the ability to limit hours of operation. They need to comply with your lighting and noise portions of the zoning ordinance. But really, our comments are, a situation where the owner and operator should just be a good neighbor to the community.
Sir, is there anything else you want to add?
Just to follow up on what you said about the fencing, the only asterisk I can recall is they were talking about moving the fencing so that the current tenant can get vehicles in, but as far as a comment, just wanted to add that everything else seems good, yeah. But we'll be like a good neighbor.
Because we did see one more person I don't recognize, is there anybody here in the public who wishes to object to or provide public comment on the application of Macomb Group? Okay, no? No, okay. I think it's
Well,
open
for the
board.
commissioners and the public, since this can be watched on YouTube, could you just give a brief explanation of your company, what you do, and why you're using this property?
Definitely. So we're called the Macomb Group. We're a privately held plumbing, commercial, and mechanical piping distributor. So we're buying products from domestic manufacturers and globally sourced manufacturers, bringing them in, unbundling them to sell to the local market. So we're 39 locations and continue to grow. So after we open this, hopefully we'll be 40, 41. But we're a piping distributor.
And you need this particular parcel for storage because?
For bulk and overflow items, so our materials are sometimes 20 and 40 feet in length. So a lot of it doesn't match up with the 304 Deerfield location, but can easily distribute at this other location.
Good. And both Planning Commission and HRG have approved this with conditions?
Correct.
Yeah, the planning commission did review and recommend approval with conditions. My recommendation would be that if approval is granted this evening, that it would just be done, that there be compliance with all outstanding comments of the township engineer's letter and compliance with all other township codes and regulations.
Any other questions?
Yes, just an assurance, are you storing anything that would be considered hazardous there?
No chemicals, nothing
So
hazardous.
petroleum, no?
Nothing. The only thing would be fuel for a forklift, which we
Okay,
can.
but not all fuel? Okay.
No, none whatsoever. It would probably be propane, a propane tank. Would be the only one with a chemical sticker on it.
Any other questions? Ben, anything else to add?
No, nothing else to add.
Thank you very much.
Yep, I think we can now close the public hearing, and if the board feels appropriate, you may move forward with a vote on the application.
Do I hear a motion?
I would make a motion to grant the conditional use approval to the Macomb Group for use of the exterior storage yard on lot block 345A 44, subject to the conditions stated by our
Yep.
solicitor.
Those would be compliance with all outstanding comments of the township engineer. A copy of that letter will be incorporated into this decision, and compliance with all other township codes and ordinances.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any additional comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Welcome, neighbor.
I love it, thank you all.
Well, you'll have a written decision sent out to you tomorrow.
Oh, great.
Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah.
That went quickly because the chief needed his chair.
Thank you all, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Police report?
There's another public hearing. Who left this here? Is this his or does it?
That's fine. I did.
Right. Good evening, everyone. For the month of April, we had a total of 82 calls. Included in that were 32 EMS calls that we were dispatched to, various suspicious vehicles, suspicious circumstances, and person calls. They all kind of wrapped up into one. It didn't turn out to be anything for the public to be concerned about. To my knowledge, all of them were just false calls, just people calling in things that they thought were odd. And we checked it out, so that's a good thing. Everything turned out okay. We also had 7 traffic citations issued and 17 traffic and parking warnings issued. So a busy month, that's why the numbers are up higher for that. But for April, a couple storm calls. I think you guys weren't so bad up this way. Tree down, wires down a few places, but nothing as bad as some of the other jurisdictions. So other than that, the only thing that I would have to add is just more of an informational thing, since I have the opportunity to be up here. The Paul Miller's law is coming into effect. It's the hands-free law of cell phone inside vehicles. I believe it's effective June 5th, June 6th, right in that time frame. It is a primary offense to be on your cell phone while driving. You're permitted to hit the button like one time, I think is what it is, while you're driving a vehicle. For the first 12 months, officers are permitted to pull you over as a primary violation, but it will be a written warning or a verbal warning to say you stay off your cell phone. After that, citations can be issued. More of an awareness and change factor, right? Many other states have that. Pennsylvania's just now getting into it, which is probably a good thing, but change for people. Just a reminder, stay off your cell phones, get a cradle for them and leave them there while you're out driving the vehicle. So, any questions or concerns from you?
Thank you for that last information, and as always, anything we can do for you?
Nope, you're doing it. We're getting calls on things and getting a chance to check it out. So everything's going well.
Thank you very much.
All right, have a good evening.
Stay safe.
Emergency management.
Working on our hazard vulnerability assessment stuff, which is due for the county. So that's an ongoing mission.
Ben,
We have two items. One is a land development review for the.
Could you take the podium?
Oh, absolutely.
Don't take it, just stand out. We need it for, I'm telling you.
And introduce yourself.
Yes, Ben Gilberti with HRG Township Engineer. Two items for discussion tonight. I don't know if you want to do them now or as part of a later part of the meeting. First one, the land development review for the EV charging station for Amazon. My understanding that's up for a vote tonight. We're also here to talk the resolutions for the Rhodes Avenue.
Yeah, I think.
You want to talk about those right now?
Yeah, would you just present an overview of the project?
Correct. So Rhodes Avenue has been kind of on and off the board's kind of radar. We've done some investment in some geotechnical monitoring, some visual monitoring, and we're finding that there is movement. We have seen, I'll say, from a on-again, off-again movement to more of a constant movement. It's been observed by the Public Works, it's been observed by HRG, and we're in a concerned situation that the way that it is moving, that it could become kind of a safety concern for the township and the residents, both from a we lose the road and the utilities that are in it, water, gas, I think sewer could be okay, but the bigger one is access to emergency vehicles. It is a dead-end road. We've evaluated a couple other options as how to put in an emergency access road, emergency bypass, and there really is no other way to get in and out of Rhodes Avenue due to topography. We've looked at the site with a specialized contractor that has the ability to install soil nails. They have special equipment. It would be more of a design-build approach with the concern that if we don't do something soon, we could lose the road entirely, and the cost would go from the numbers that we're going to discuss here in a minute to more of a steel wall, soldier pile and lagging wall that's there currently that is up to three times more expensive than what we're looking at. So the two resolutions that are on the agenda for tonight are emergency designations to hire the firm GSI to do that soil nail installation. So that is a large 20+ foot rebar that is drilled into the solid dirt and grouted to hold it, and bolted in a steel mesh to hold the earth in place to prevent the movement from stopping. In addition to that, there's a second resolution for Stefanik's Next Generation Contracting to kind of support that effort, excavating, haul away some of the bad material, some tree clearing, access to help stabilize that site. So those are the two resolutions that are on the agenda tonight for emergency. Again, because it is specialized work and there is a potential fear that we get another large storm, some water, it could slip to beyond the point that this repair is applicable, as well as the ability to provide emergency services and utilities to the site. Any questions? Yes.
And Solicitor Jewett, could you explain the emergency aspect of the resolution?
Yeah, absolutely. So typically under standard procedures, you'd be required to go out for bid for this type of work based on the amount that it's going to cost. However, the First Class Township Code does have exceptions to those obligations, and in particular, there are exceptions when there is a real or potential emergency or risk to public health, safety, and welfare. Here, having reviewed what HRG has observed, as well as what Public Works has observed, and also taking into account your prior reviews and efforts on this site, it is believed that this is a real or potential emergency, and it does qualify for this type of emergency action. In addition, as Ben has noted, the primary purchase here, the primary contract here is a very specialized entity. And so there is an additional potential exemption to those bidding requirements that applies. But so that does have to be done by resolution as opposed to simple motion. So I've reviewed what's been provided by HRG and prepared those resolutions in compliance with the First Class Township Code.
And Ben, succinctly, the engineer's opinion that causes you to believe this is an emergency is?
I think it goes back to the utilities and the emergency access, that we're losing more than half a lane, and we've seen it continue to fall, and it seems to be picking up speed. Before it would move, half inch, we'd have to measure with survey equipment. Now it's visual. you know, we're seeing 3-4 inches, and the township has tried to do some lightweight repairs to try to just stabilize it, and they're lasting months when they used to last years. So it appears to be gaining speed. The monitors that we've had to kind of measure that have moved beyond the point where they can be measured anymore. The tubes are sticking up out of the casings, popping off master locks. It is becoming very obvious at the movement.
Well, and it has collapsed 2 times, and our public works have done a tremendous job in making it at least passable, but I think the potential for a real problem is nigh, so thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions on Rhodes Avenue?
That road dedicated to the town,
Pardon me?
the road dedicated to the town,
Yes, it is, it's
Yes.
a township road, yes.
The land development, is that later in the agenda or new
It
business?
is, yeah, it's further down in the planning.
No, let's finish this.
Yeah.
We'll finish this
So
first.
move forward with the resolutions for
Yes.
adoption.
I would like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 2025-01 to authorize a contract with Geostabilization International for emergency hillside stabilization work alongside Rhodes Avenue. And in addition, a motion to adopt resolution number 2025-02 to authorize a contract with Stefanik's Next Generation Contracting Company for emergency roadway restoration work on Rhodes Avenue.
second,
Any further discussion? All in favor?
aye,
Opposed? Motions pass. Yes, ma'am?
Molly Amsler, 14 Rhodes Avenue. I just miraculously, in my brilliance, spot that. What time frame, because I'm new to the township, are we talking about?
So, the contractor with today's, I'll say motion, will get it on their schedule. In discussions, they're looking to be out, I wanna say 6 weeks, so midsummer.
Wow.
And, I wanna say, let's budget a month for start to finish, but I think they're trying to get it as quick as possible. You know, maybe with 2-week construction. There will be times where the road will be, I'll say, impassable, it'll be temporarily impassable, we can communicate that, but they will have to provide emergency services in and out. It's gonna be a challenge at times, they're aware of that, but they're gonna try to minimize impacts to the residents as much as possible, and we can communicate that.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, thank you.
Ben, are you anticipating a pre-construction meeting for the residents?
Absolutely. At the very least, we'll have it with the township, but out of those meeting minutes and notes, once schedules and the actual impacts will be, you know, known and nailed down, we will get that out to the residents so we can communicate, and we'll work with township manager and secretary to figure out what the best way to communicate that is, if that's, you know, email list or whatever works
I think
for
there's
folks.
only 16 homes,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, but once we get it nailed down, we'll give them as much notice as possible as to minimize the impacts. Same with the emergency services.
Okay, you can take a break for a minute.
Thank you.
Public Works?
So Tim's not able to be here, he has a fire class this evening. So his report is in your packet. Nothing out of the ordinary, other than the street sweeping, try saying that fast. Something new that occurred. Just the usual cleaning up. Obviously Earth Day was part of this report, which you already heard about. Cleaning up after the storms, catch basins. Of course, there was debris all over the place after the one storm. Kept him busy for a while. And just the usual. Nothing.
Thank you. Any questions? Communications?
No report.
Well, we did have one, but we'll deal with that later. All right, Ben, you're back.
All right. We have a planning review letter. Do you need me back at the podium?
That's why I told you not to take the podium immediately.
All right. Did a plan review letter for the EV charging installation at DDP1 Amazon Vehicle Parking Lot. So that is a parking lot at the back of North Drive. Similar, I'll say nothing new, same use at that parking lot. They're installing electric vehicle chargers and a transformer to power those. Not new vehicles. My understanding is they're gonna replace the vehicles that are there now with electric vehicles, so they're not charging vehicles from different sites. They will be the ones still operating the site next door. And really, it's going through land development due to the foundation of the transformer. So pretty minor. A couple items that are in discussion. They are proposing to light a crosswalk. We got some lighting plans in late last week. We're reviewing those. They appear to be in order. We may ask the Amazon to provide some approval, given North Drive is technically a private road owned by the industrial park, that they are okay with that, consistent with what we normally do. Outside of that, they're pretty much waiting on other approvals through Allegheny County. Last comment that we had is just a letter from Duquesne Light verifying they have adequate service to provide electricity
It'll
to
be
the
next.
site. Anything else you want to add?
I do have the letter from Duquesne Light.
Okay.
If you wanna, I don't know if I need 7 copies or whatever. I can email it over or.
Okay.
Do you want to just introduce yourself for the board?
Sure.
Sir?
I'm Jason Nagorski, Jason, Nagorski, Nagorski, and I work with Civil and Environmental Consultants, and we are the consulting firm to help Amazon get approval for DPP1 parking lot, off-site parking lot 12 over here. I believe it was presented last month through, by Josh McGargy, and we have a few different items that were commented on. The lighting for the crosswalk, and I believe that was provided to you from Josh. And then I just brought the Duquesne Light, the letter saying that there's enough availability for power for the EV chargers. There is a security fence that's being used at the site. And it will be locked, and there will be a Knox box for the key, so that if emergency vehicles needed to get into the site for anything, that they could do so.
Any questions?
Questions?
Planning Commission and engineers have approved this,
Correct, condition on addressing all of our engineering comments.
and there are no conditions now that the Duquesne Light letter is received?
There would still be a condition of assuring that the photometric plan that was submitted is compliant with the engineer's requirements.
Yeah.
And all other outstanding third-party permits and approvals.
Okay. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion to approve the Amazon electric vehicle charger installation land development application. Subject to the conditions as vocalized.
And those conditions would be for the benefit of the applicant, that the photometric plan as previously provided passes review and is compliant with the requirements established by the township engineer, and compliance in obtaining all other third-party permits and approvals.
Is
Second.
there a second? Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
All right, well, thank you very much. Any other questions? We're good?
Thanks.
All right, thank you.
You can kind of relay this along. We very much appreciated Amazon's participation in our Earth Day, and good neighbors.
Absolutely.
Okay?
I'll be sure to. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, have a great day.
And
I move that we appoint Larry Kastner to the vacancy on the planning commission.
is there a second?
I second.
Patty, do you have the spelling correct?
Oh, I can get it.
Okay. Any further discussion?
That's
All
a
in
term-
favor?
That's a term
Aye.
ending December 31st, 2028, correct? All in favor, aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. So Patty, will you send an invitation to Larry?
Mhm.
Tax collector treasurer.
Not here.
We have the financials.
He said, yeah, well, the reports I did, since the tax collector treasurer couldn't do
Yeah.
reports, and Gwen's not here, so I did some reports that are in your packet. Just the bills and the deposits are in your packet.
Okay,
That's all we got for you this time. But next month you'll have April reports and May reports and all kind of numbers.
good.
So I would make a motion to approve that April bill list in the amount of $34,487.72, and to ratify the April prepaid bills in the amount of $12,344.87, and to ratify April payroll transfers in the amount of $19,702.83.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Aleppo Township Authority.
No report.
Quaker Valley Ambulance Authority.
Just real quick, both Valley Ambulance and Quaker Valley Ambulance have severed their ties with Heritage Valley Swickley as a medical command facility and moved them to Allegheny Health Network, and are working with the people at Allegheny Health Network Wexford. So just,
Thank you. Quaker Valley COG.
Okay, I'm up again. So in your packet,
did you take the podium?
I feel like Gwen now, oh my goodness. In your packet is the executive director's report. It summarizes the tree adoption event. And it talks about the manager's secretary's picnic. And the other part in the packet is from the executive director, Patrick Connors. The Pittsburgh Regional Transit is proposing some changes that will impact routes that are within the COG membership. So it's in here for your information. The COG is asking that each of the municipalities provide a letter, saying, please don't make these cuts and so on and so forth. So if you look at the back of your packet, it explains some of the bus routes affected. They're also proposing the closure of 3 bridges. So they're hoping that each of the municipalities will get involved in trying to prevent these from happening.
Thank you.
We can get into more detail if it's something that you're interested in pursuing.
Are they asking any specific action?
And now, just a letter of support, basically, from each municipality. To
Good.
support not changing everything.
Did they provide a draft letter?
No, they did not,
Okay.
but we can certainly get
We'll do
something
one.
from them. Okay.
Solicitor Jewett,
I have no report. Thank you.
unfinished business. New business, Commissioner Haluka.
Just wanted to make an announcement. In the works is a free CPR and first aid course, which we're gonna be offering the beginning of summer, end of spring, to all township residents that may be interested. So we encourage you to keep your eyes on the website. And we should be coming up with a date as soon as Gwen returns. We should be able to come up with a date, get it concrete.
Thank you. Citizen participation, we did have one communication.
We did, There was concern voiced about the road paving and tar and chip that was done to Swickley Heights Drive, involving questions about milling and the reason it was milled, the timing of Swickley Ridge's paving, et cetera. I think the best way, and Ben, our engineer, is here, is that I will refer the resident to please put in writing his particular questions, and we will get them to you. You're probably most qualified to give him much more educated answers than I can or anyone else can. So I'll contact him after this meeting and see if he'll do that, and then you can respond to him with an engineer.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you very much. There's no executive session required tonight.
No, there's nothing I believe needs to be addressed in executive. Did you have one more?
You have anything?
Okay.
Well, thanks for coming.
Well, thanks for having me.
If there's no further business, we're adjourned.